What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to episode number 205 of the Nonsense Review. That's right, we are not WWE 205 Live.
Not 205 Live, indeed. Okay.
So I'll take a stab at what WWE's 205 Live was.
I'm guessing that it was a long-wave radio show.
Why would you guess that?
Because long-wave is easy to pick up on radios that are crap, and getting out to as many radio fans as possible is kind of fun. Or useful for metrics, yeah, it's like the same reason that BBC Radio 5 Live is on long wave and not FM.
It doesn't really work in America, though.
No.
It would be absolutely insane if I just went, Rick, you're 100% right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, suffice to say that I know I'm wrong.
Okay, cool. 205 Live was a third show they produced for a while. It was called 205 Live because it was exclusively for cruiserweights, and 205 pounds was the max weight limit for a wrestler.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because weight limits matter in wrestling.
Well, they should matter in pretty much every sport, but here we are.
There was a big hullabaloo ages ago where it was like, you can't challenge for the cruiserweight title because you're over the weight limit, but cruiserweights can still challenge for the heavyweight title. It was like, the rules are inconsistent, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those, yeah, being able to punch up is it's like the good old underdog story.
Yeah, but fuck you can't have weight limits and then not enforce them.
Yeah. Well, it's weight tiers. You can't go down a tier, but you can go up a tier.
No, you can't. In no combat sport ever can you do that.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're in specifically an expedition fight that doesn't affect rankings, which means it ain't going to be for a fucking title.
Sure.
I'm just saying, wrestling is stupid.
Yeah. Well, by the same category, like, if you're enforcing your weight limits, then you shouldn't have one of them with more prestige than the others.
That's never been a thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
Prestige doesn't matter. However, if you're going through the pantomime effort of enforcing weight classes, then actually do it.
Yeah. Like, because that's the thing. The heavyweight title almost always holds, like, the most weight. Like, no one's gonna give a shit about, like, who wins the bantamweight, are they, really?
Except the bantamweight boxers, because that's the only combat sport that has that weight class, are almost always more entertaining than the heavyweights, because they don't tend to have single knockout punches.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, like, the technical aspect is a bit more on show. Or at least it used to be. I don't watch boxing no more. I haven't watched boxing for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm your host as always, Devon, and joining me as always is Rick.
Hello, Rebecca.
Yes. Today we are continuing our month of mystery, because we really can't think of a different name. This week we are tackling Life on Mars. Are you ready for some background info?
Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty, so this should come as no surprise to you, Rick. It is a BBC series, hailing from the humble years of 2006. Specifically, it started airing on the 9th of January 2006 and ran for a total of 16 episodes across 2 series.
Okay, fair enough.
It also spawned a spin-off series. Well, it's less of a spin-off, more of a sequel called Ashes to Ashes, where it followed a female lead. I can't remember anything that happened in that show. I didn't watch it. I barely watched Life on Mars.
Sure.
We'll be watching Life on Mars on Netflix today, because I imagine Netflix probably has the distribution rights in many more countries, but you can also watch this on the BBC iPlayer.
Yeah, we didn't bother because we both had Netflix ready to go.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the BBC fucking iPlayer is not the best or easiest to navigate system.
It's perfectly fine once you're in it, but also things get removed, so...
Once you're in it is exactly the right turn of phrase, and the amount of times it arbitrarily logs you out because they need to go, are you sure you're still paying for the TV license, even though it's a fucking yearly fucking thing more often than not.
Yeah. And, like, by average, the people logging into the iPlayer are not the TV license payer in the house, because houses, shock horror, probably have more than one person in them on average.
Yeah, but thankfully it does specify the household has to have the license, not the individual.
Oh yeah, totally.
But anyway, enough about BBC fucking TV license laws, because they're stupid. If you're interested in Life on Mars, they did recently, and by recently I mean like literally 2024, release a special look back with some of the cast reminiscing on the show, which is available on YouTube for free.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, it's only like a 20-minute thing, so yeah. The premise is simple enough. A modern-day policeman, sort of a modern-day policeman when this was new, so 2006, gets hit by a car only to awaken in the 70s in the exact same, how would you phrase it? Constabulary?
Yeah, but in the same constabulary and in the same municipality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. The same catchment area.
Exactly. And he is still a copper. The caveat is we're not sure what exactly is going on during the series. They make it very clear about halfway through series 1 what the actual deal is. But from the beginning, you're not really sure whether the main character is dead, in a coma, is he actually time traveling, what's going on. So that's the basic premise, which is a pretty decent one.
Okie dokie.
And you can tell it's a decent premise because not only has it been shown in multiple countries, there have been loads of adaptations of this, Rick.
Yeah. It's well, it's not exactly the world's most novel concept. Well, okay, maybe it was at the time, but like it's weird to think that as recent as 2006, this would be the first time someone ever tried it.
Well, let's put it this way. It's had a spin-off, or rather adaptation, made in America, Spain, Russia, Czech Republic, and South Korea. South Korea is the least crazy, because they've done weirder shit.
They have.
Interestingly enough as well, is a Chinese adaptation was also announced just before COVID, and nothing's really come of that since.
Sure.
But seeing as this has been exported to so many different countries, I think it's probably safe to say that this should be considered a British staple.
Yeah, sweet.
Maybe not up there with Sherlock Holmes, but like it's a homegrown piece of mythos.
Yeah.
So the show itself stars both John Sims and Philip Glenister. I do not blame you if you don't recognise those names. However, when you see them, you'll go like, oh, I know that guy, but that might only be if you're British.
I'm pretty sure I do know John Sims because he was one of the actors for the Master in Doctor Who.
He was the actor for the Master in Doctor Who, specifically David Tennant's Master.
Yeah, so the only one I've known.
And his name is... this is a hang-up that I have because people do it with my surname or not. It's John Sim, not Sims.
Oh, yes, yeah, John Sim, yeah. With 2 M's and no S. Well,
yes.
1 S.
Well, yeah, but no, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's one of those where I don't expect anyone but British people to be like, oh, I know that guy, because they just show up in that amount of British TV shows.
Yeah.
As for music at the time, by the by, Life on Mars itself is named after one of David Bowie's hits. Just for those of you who didn't know.
Yeah, it's playing in my head as we speak.
But yes, the charts at the time, as in 2006, were, well, odd to say the least. Notorious B.I.G. was topping with a re-release of Nasty Girl, featuring Diddy, Nelly, and a few others. We will not talk about Diddy.
Oh, Nelly Furtado.
It just says Nelly, so I'm going to assume it's the rapper Lenny. Nelly.
Sure, fair enough.
If you're not familiar, he's the guy who used to have the fucking Band-Aid on his cheek.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, Nelly Furtado's a lady, right?
Yeah. She was also active in that kind of time.
Yeah, I just don't see her associating with Diddy.
Yeah.
Just saying, but I'm going to assume it was Nelly the rapper and not Lenny Furtado, just based on the fact that it didn't say her surname.
Sure.
But weirdly enough, jostling for the same number 1 spot was the Arctic Monkeys with When the Sun Goes Down. And Rick, I have to ask you, what the fuck happened to the Arctic Monkeys?
They were kind of, I don't know. They kind of popped up out of nowhere. Everyone seemed to like them, and then, like, nothing happened. They're just gone.
I don't know if they're still... I didn't look into it. I probably should have done, but I'm just like, yeah, I vaguely remember the Arctic Monkeys being relatively popular. What the fuck happened to those guys?
Yeah. What happened to the Arctic Monkeys?
Oh, dear. But anyway, that's what we're watching today. But before we jump into that, those of you familiar with the show probably already know that we like to talk about our weeks and goings-on in the wide universe. So with that in mind, Rick, how's your week been, buddy?
Well, I've done not a great deal, but what I did do was we went to go see Dogman.
I've seen so many trailers for this, and it looks not good. However, I do have the massive caveat of I do understand it's a kids' movie.
Yeah, it was a kind of thing. We got a table at a restaurant in town, city, place.
A restaurant or just Nando's?
It wasn't Nando's.
Okay.
It was like we had like 4 hours to kill, so we shopped for an hour and then went to go see Dogman, and then there was less time to kill because there was fuck all else to see at the cinema. And it was actually very fun. Everything is done in like like it's not quite stop motion. It's very definitely 3D CG, but it looks like it could have been stop motion if if people were that skilled. And I heard in the bathroom after I finished from a kid talking to his like dad or uncle or whatever that it was pretty much a word for word faithful adaptation of one of the books, of which there are many.
Yeah, Rick has to say that that's pretty much what the kids said, because I'm sure they weren't as articulate as that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun little romp. I was not expecting Dogman to not be able to talk.
Oh, they made it very clear from the trailers that he can't talk.
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailers.
Yeah. Well, this movie, the first time I saw the trailer was while going to see Sonic 3, so, I had no choice but to watch it. And then occasionally I do watch YouTube with ads on, and they are promoting this incredibly heavily. Yep,
fair enough. But yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of slapstick, a lot of stupidity. The main villain has a robot called ATHD.
Yeah, robot puns are just like a staple, aren't they?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice little bit of fun. It's very kid friendly, and like I think the rudest thing they do is fart. So yeah, that's all fine and good.
Yeah, Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah. Except they don't call each other pig fuckers. So. Other things that I saw while I was out there, though, I went into the comic shop and two things caught my eye. One of which is that there is a what if Mickey and friends were in the Krakoan age in Marvel?
Cohen?
Yeah, like the Isle of Krakoa or something.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So yeah, they basically just put all the Mickey gang into a Marvel era and made a comic out of that. So I didn't buy that. But the other one was that Multiverses, which is like famously shutting down rather soon, is still getting comics.
Well, yeah, they can still fucking milk that shit.
Yeah.
I want to see Garnet beat down Johnny Bravo, and it's not a kink thing. I swear.
Onto the wide world. The Duolingo owl is dead.
Oh, I had this written down. The official cause of death has been announced. Did you hear this?
Cybertruck.
Yeah. What the fuck's going on, Rick?
And in the official announcement, if you want to take it up with anyone, take it up with Twitter.
Well, it's one of those weird things where this is clearly a marketing stunt, but I'm not sure what the end game is here.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it's a case of they were sick of people making memes out of the owl, except that was literally like how they got free marketing.
Like, for real. I mean, the whole take it up with Twitter thing is kind of funny, because there was a period of time when people were drawing not erotic fan art, but like shipping fan art of the Duolingo owl and the Twitter bird. It was quite funny.
Well, the horrifying part of that is that we know that the Duolingo owl is sentient, whereas the Twitter bird doesn't even have eyes.
It did in the fan art, Rick.
Okay. And the last thing that I've seen in the world before the next thing that we're going to do is Chick Bites.
I don't know what this is.
These are cloned chicken meat. They're on sale at PetSmart, and they're already banned in Florida.
Okay.
So, like, the Florida thing is because, Ron DeSantis is, like, being a little bitch about it, and is like, oh, no, I'm preemptively banning anything that I don't like.
It's one of those things where artificial meat is probably the way to go when going forward, but I must admit, I'd be curious. I'd have to see how it's made to give it a go.
Yeah, apparently this one in particular is taken from an egg. So they take DNA from an egg, and they just, like, clone it up.
So wait, they're still going through. How far into development does it go, the chicken?
I don't know.
Because if it gets raised into an animal, it's no better than other sources of meat in that regard. Then. Yeah,
I think they're basically making like essentially tumors that they're just like vat growing in petri dishes.
Yeah, that's fine, but there's an ethical question here that we need to ask. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
How much does this thing feel, if at all? If nothing at all, then great, I have no issues. If it feels even slightly, then there's issues.
Yeah, if it has a brain.
Yeah, that's
pretty. It gets killed.
That's pretty much the fundamental point, Rick. You nailed it. That's hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the state of play.
Yeah, there's only a few things that got announced that I care enough about to expand upon. But I gotta be honest with you. I told you before we started recording, Rick. I ain't got a lot to talk about this week. So.
Yeah. So, Monster Hunter Wilds had another trailer, and they've revealed their spring event. It's going to be the Misogyny, which is the big, long, like, fox dragon thing, which, yay, cool. Sonic Kart is still looking great. they showed off a few of the playable characters in the trailer, and the music is sounding great.
Yeah, I had a look at this trailer because it's one of the few things I'm interested in that's coming out this year. It does seem to firmly be a Sonic racing game and not a Sega racing game.
Yeah, so you got like obscure things like Charmy the Bee and
motherfucker.
Like,
I was going to say Jet the Hawk is prominently featured, and I was like, why?
Yeah, well, because Jet the Hawk was technically like one of the faces of the last time they did a Sonic-only racer.
Yeah, that wasn't a racing game. I mean, it was a racing game, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. The Digimon story, Time Stranger, this looks metal as fuck.
Yeah, so Eyes and I are incredible. But okay, so fun fact, this got leaked about an hour and a half before the game came out because GameStop put it on their website.
Yeah, okay.
So Eyes was messaging me saying, yo, GameStop did this, maybe we're finally going to get a Digimon announcement for a video game, because honestly we haven't had anything since Survive apart from like shitty gacha games that you can't get in the UK. So it was like, yeah, cool, I hope it's true, and it's a Digimon story game. Like, say what you want about the actual Digimon story Cyber Sleuth that came out, the translation was ass and the plot was kind of dumb, but the gameplay was solid. And
so hype for this.
I'm super excited. It seemed, again, it's got the story suffix, so it seems to be set in the same universe. I suspect it will play the same. The interesting thing that they've done in the trailer is they've shown a little bit of combat, and they've only shown off one Digimon being used at a time, so we're not sure if they're changing up the combat a bit. It'd be a bit weird if they stuck you to just one partner, because that's not really what stories is usually about, but we'll have to wait and see. The best thing about this is it did say it's coming out in 2025. However, Survive got pushed back like 3 times, so...
Sure. Hype for this. Other things, there is a Dave the Diver DLC.
Yeah, it says Ichiban's Holiday Crossover. Is that Ichiban from Yakuza?
It is. So you get a pixel art version of Ichiban in Dave the Diver, and it looks rather cute. We got the 2 Randys giving us the release date for Borderlands 4, 23rd of September. I am actually excited for this. I know that you're super burnt out on Borderlands.
I'm not burnt out. The last game wasn't good.
Yeah, fair enough. We got a 2D Shinobi game that looks fantastic, but it looks to be like mostly style. This is the kind of thing that if the PlayStation Portal actually played its own games, would be a perfect place for it. There is an expansion for Lies of P and DLC for Stellar Blade, which is based around Nikke from, Goddess of Victory Nikke, because it's the same company. We got 2 really cool looking games. Lost Soul Aside, which is coming out on the PC too, and Tides of Annihilation, where the main character sounds like Shadowheart, so I'll be interested to see if it is actually a Jenny English.
Yeah, I've got a big old list of games in front of me because I didn't watch the whole thing. I think people who watch the whole thing are losers. Sorry, Rick. No, I'm kidding. But all it says next to Tides of Annihilation is, it seems very Souls-like, and that's all the information the article's bothered to write on it.
Yeah, like, that one looks more Souls-like, and Lost Soul Aside looks kind of more anime action-y. And I'll be honest, they both look cool. My finger is on the pulse for both of them. And the last thing that was available, they said later today, while it was recording and while it was showing, is Warriors Abyss, which is a roguelike Muso.
Yeah, it came out immediately.
Sure. And that's I think it's PS4 and PS5, but
that's what it says on the article I've got. I looked at the trailer for this, and I say trailer, it's basically just like, this is what you're getting if you buy this. Okay, so it's Warriors Orochi. For those of you who don't know what Warriors Orochi is, it's the big old crossover game for all the Tecmo Koei Warriors games, apart from Gundam, because fuck you. Yeah, because I looked at the lineups, and you got Nobunaga, you got the Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors cast all in the game. It's very interesting that they're bragging about how many characters they have in this game, because Dynasty Warriors Origins fucking gutted the roster.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Steam.
It's on Steam as well. I might give it a look then. How expensive is it?
It says $25, so I don't know if it's even on our Steam yet.
Okay, at $25, I will go in on this and give it a proper go. It looks interesting enough. In Warriors Orochi 4, it was either 4 or 3. It must have been 4 because that was the most recent one. They had a gameplay mode that looked like this, except you played it from from a really weird angle.
Yeah.
And you picked a team of 5 warriors and you went through and you fucked shit up, and that is essentially what this is. So yeah, I love my Muso. I know a lot of people shit on Muso games because their core gameplay loop can be a bit boring. Even I agree with that. I don't care. I love Muso. And we're going back to classic Samurai Warriors 4 designs for the characters. So, well, for the samurai side of things. So, I'm happy. I will give this a go, and I'll probably talk about it next week.
Sure. Yeah, 20 quid for the basic game, and then it goes up to £67.
Those will only be for costumes.
Yeah. The costume packs are 20, 30, and 25 for the Hack and Dash Legendary costume set, the Dynasty Warriors Classic costumes, and the Samurai Warriors Classic costumes.
Yeah, this is not new for Koei. Koei does this shit all the fucking time, and everybody hates it.
Yeah, the costumes are more expensive than the whole ass game.
Well, yeah,
like even the basic pack of costumes, the basic Hack and Dash Legendary costume set is more expensive than the game.
But people will pay it. Don't know why they pay it, but they do.
Yeah.
Like they're not even silly over the top outfit. Like, you know how in gacha games you can pay extra for the stupid over the top version of the character that has like their tits spilling out.
Yeah, and like their hair's on fire, and they have like laser swords and whatever instead of like a ball that they chuck.
Yeah, dumb shit.
Yeah, like instead of Waka throwing a blitzball, he throws the galaxy.
Yeah, dumb shit. Whereas it's Koei's always done this. They've relied on nostalgia for the classic look of characters, and yeah, some of the older designs are much better. I'm not paying extra for them. Get fucked.
Yeah. Well, it does mean that they're incentivized to make new designs that look shit to make the old ones look better in comparison.
It's not even designs that look shit, it's just a different style. There was a brief period of time where they made everyone anime as fuck, and that really sucked, but I know why they did it.
Sure. But yeah, at 20 quid, it might be worth having a look. So, yeah. But yes, that's it for me, my week, and, one other thing. Apparently, as of 2025, the Arctic Monkeys are still making music.
Did you really need to stop the podcast for that?
Well, that's what happened to the Arctic Monkeys. But yeah, how about you? How have you been? What have you been?
Speaking of dumb bullshit, I've started playing Fate Samurai Remnant.
Oh, okay.
So I had a few extra bucks, and it was on sale for just over 20 quid, and I was like, this has been on my wish list for a while. Fuck it, I'm going to buy it.
From 2023.
Is that when that game came out? I could have sworn it was last year.
Well, we're only a month and a half into 2024, so...
Either way, whenever it came out, I've got it now. I've played it. I've done the prologue. I don't know how far into Chapter 1 I am, but I must be in a fair chunk in. And, boy, do I have a real love-hate relationship with Fate bullshit.
Yep. Iori uses dual katana, a widespread weapon for samurai during the Edo period.
Someone's got Wikipedia open.
I do.
You gotta stop doing this, my dude. But yeah, the main character's, I think it's Miyamoto Iori.
Yeah.
He's the adopted son of Musashi Miyamoto. And,
Sure.
yeah, so you got the twin blade style, you got the single blade style, you get your servant. Don't you dare fucking tell me that servant's name. It hasn't been revealed in the game yet.
Okay, yeah, I put Wikipedia away.
Okay. Yeah, your servant that you summon is like, I'm not telling anyone my name because blah 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 blah. It's the same old Fate trick they always do. They try and get you invested by guessing a character's name. I think they're a Chinese person based on evidence, but I don't know. So yeah, I haven't got a fucking clue. The game itself is actually set just after the Sengoku Jidai period, so just after Tokugawa shogunate took over.
All right.
Don't know if that means anything to you. I assumed it would because you like Japanese shit.
I'm aware of Tokugawa Ieyasu, yes.
Okay. So yeah, you got a mini Fate war going on over the Holy Grail, except it's not Holy Grail, it's some waxing moon festival bullshit. The winner gets a wish, as does the servant, and you got a bunch of free servants that are just chilling. One of them is Gilgamesh.
Okay, so Gilgamesh has no master, which is, it's on brand for Gil.
Yeah, so this version of Gilgamesh is the ruler class servant version of Gilgamesh. At least that's what the game tells me. And he's just running a textile shop.
Sure.
He's just running a textile shop. You meet him, and he's like, I don't care about this. This is shit. You're all shit. And he insists everyone calls him boss, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. You're Gilgamesh. I know your name. This game has got 3 DLCs, which I'm not interested in purchasing, but I did look at them because as soon as you buy a game on Steam, all the DLC gets added to your discovery queue because they really want you to buy more things.
Yes.
I forget what the first DLC is, but the other 2 DLCs I remember quite well from the descriptions. One of them is a tournament between all the masters, and it's like, cool,
Okay.
Why would I want this? If you buy this DLC, you get to play as the other servants that you can't control during the game.
Right, okay.
And you unlock Gilgamesh as a playable servant, which most people will orgasm over.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason that most people will buy that.
Yeah. It also says some bullshit about Ibaraki Doji, but I don't know if I care.
Sure.
And the other DLC...
Other than Gilgamesh, are there any other servants that I will, like, maybe know?
They've got Tamamo no Mei, except she's
Yay.
child-coded as fuck, and she's called Tamamo Aria.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
She wants to fuck the main character, and it's very weird because she... Okay, she's not actually a child, she's got massive tits still.
Okay.
But she's really short, and she acts like a child.
Short stack Tamamo.
But she acts like a child.
Okay.
In my opinion, she does, anyway. But everyone else acts like it's really cute and endearing, so I don't actually know what age range she's meant to be in, but it makes me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a free servant, and she kind of has joined our side, but not really. It's that type of game. The other DLC mentions that you team up with Xiao Zilong, which, if you don't recognize that name, I don't blame you. It's Xiao Yun.
Okay.
This is another reason why I think our main servant is Chinese.
Sure.
Because there are so many Chinese Three Kingdoms era servants so far. We've got Xiao Zilong in the DLC. And I recently met Archer, and they were like, my name is Xiao Gongling. And I'm like, I fucking know that name. And then 2 seconds later, yeah, I'm Xiao Yu.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. But also, why do you look bishy as fuck?
Yeah, like, it's one of these things. Whenever you see, like, an over-designed female character, my first thought is like, man, that looks like a fake character. I bet it's fucking Winston Churchill, this anime lady.
Xiao Yu is actually a dude.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when we first met Saber, I was like, oh, it's interesting to have a male Saber servant for a change. Still got Saber face. And then everyone referred to him as a he, as a she, and I'm like, oh, I guess my fucking gender radar's fucked up today.
Yep.
And it was proper fucked up too, because we fought someone in the first 5 minutes of the game, and I went, oh wow, she's got a cool design. Oh, she's a bloke. Oh, fuck fate.
Yep.
You ready for some news?
Let's go.
Alrighty, we got our first look of Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
Okay.
So the sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie from 2016 is finally properly underway, I guess. And all we got was a movie poster of a fake movie because it's a movie starring Johnny Cage.
Yeah. When you said Carl, my mind immediately went to Pilkington.
He'd make an awful Johnny Cage.
Oh, he'd make an awful Johnny Cage, yeah.
So it's really interesting because I would never in a million years have cast Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. However, yeah, he looks like Johnny Cage, and I have no doubt he can play that level of smarmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit spoilt on Johnny Cage casting choices because The Miz, who was a wrestler, said he should have played him, and I was like, yeah, he could do that.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to that movie. The first one was surprisingly decent, and even though it's been a while, I will definitely want to see this one.
Sweet. Yeah.
The only other piece of news I've got, Rick, involves Lorcana.
Oh, yes. So I have been spoiled on this.
Have you?
Or rather, I have been spoiled on the synopsis of the statement. So reveal to everybody the little tidbit that you're going to tell me.
I think my news is different to your news based on what you just said.
My little tidbit is that now that Lorcana has dual color cards.
Okay, Lorcana now has dual-coloured cards. Yeah, the upcoming set has introduced dual-coloured cards from the previews, and my immediate reaction was, oh, that's going to give pretty much every deck a more defined strategy based on everything, because as you know, Rick, a Lorcana deck can only have 2 colours in it, so yeah, that's going to it's going to be really strict which of those dual-colour cards you can have. However, the community didn't take it that way at first. They thought that you could include these cards in any deck of either colour, which would have broken the game.
Little bit. Little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it makes more sense to centralize it around the combo that the identity that those combos embody.
Exactly. In fact, Lorcana, the team from Lorcana, had to make a statement shortly after a bunch of these reveals and said, no, your two colours have to be the same two colours as the card in question. These new dual coloured cards are going to be used to basically give characters a combination of effects they otherwise cannot have.
Right.
And therefore emphasise the gimmicks of each colour, basically.
Sure. So like having lifesteal and card draw on the same thing, kind of thing.
Yeah, card draw is. Lifesteal isn't really a thing in this game, but yeah.
Sure.
Because you got no life, so.
Yeah, fair enough. You got to like quest for victory points, haven't you?
Yeah. Every colour's got its own. I'm not well versed in the game enough to make a good even describe what each colour does well.
Yeah.
I have made myself a deck for less than £10. I'm sure it's not a good one.
Sure.
But I'm confident it could probably beat anything my regular opponent uses. You know what it's like, Rick. If you play against the same person over and over again, you know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, mostly because they got the same precon.
There's that too. There is that too. Although they keep saying that they're gonna make their own deck, but I don't see them doing it. Rick, what are we doing today?
We're doing Life on Mars, the UK version, available on Netflix and iPlayer, episode 1. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Back in the day before streaming was a thing, so episodes didn't need titles.
No. So is John Sim the main character both times? Like both in the present day and the past?
Yeah, he's the guy who gets hit by the car.
Sure.
Gets sent back in time.
To another world.
So I was doing Family Guy. What the fuck were you doing?
Oh, I was doing the second level of Sonic R.
Oh.
Take me back in time to another world where you can be mine. We don't have to worry. When you're by my side, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I was trying to do the choir when Mort got sent back to Hitler times.
Oh, yeah.
Family Guy.
Da, 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 da.
Dude, that had one of the best fucking endings where Mort was. They were just like, we got to sing a song for Hitler to be let back to go back to our own time, and Mort's just like, you two shut the fuck up and get on the time machine. So one thing I was told about this show, which is a fun little detail, is you know the words you get told when you get arrested. You have the right to remain silent. Blah
rights,
blah.
Yeah.
There you go. So even in the past, our main character gives the modern version of the speech, and every single time a cop just goes, "That's not how it goes," because that got changed in like 1986. It's a fun detail. I'm not taking on a baton with a fucking bin lid.
Oh, the best part is the kid watched him get fucked up. It's great. Oh, yeah, they still used cassettes back then.
There's no way you're allowed to roll a cigarette in a fucking interview.
Typically not.
As we all know, you're not allowed to read someone else's diary.
Well, yeah.
It's this is fictional because in real life a cop would be like, "Nah, I'm not wrong though."
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a prick. That's there's nothing. That's that lady there is playing what a real police officer would be like. It's just like, yeah, no, fucking, we know he's him, so let's book him. It's like, it's not how the law works, you dickhead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about your gut?
So they were fucking.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got his... the guy's got his alibi. Which may be synthetic.
I mean, I think it's kind of a moot point as well, because you and I know the plot of it. Like, you might not have known the plot of this program going in when you watched it back in 2006. We know that he's not going to be in this time by the end of the episode, so who cares about this fucking case?
Yeah, he's gonna get bunced into the past.
Like, you're super not allowed to do that, by the way.
No. Yeah, even as a professional police person, that's still stalking.
There's also that really fun thing of, like, you can gather all the evidence you want in the world, but if you don't do it by the book, it's not admissible.
Yeah. Actually, a family friend of ours got booted from the police force for using the police database to look up a girl.
Yeah, fuck you! That guy's an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a copper, and I would never be a copper. However, it tends to be considered rather poor police work to go after someone on your own.
Hmm. Yeah, because witness testimony is one thing, but, like, he said, she said is sketchy at best.
Not even that, just based on the fact that it's dangerous. Case in point, she's gone missing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so that's our first fake out.
It's a Grand Cherokee. In case you didn't know, it was named after a Bowie song.
Yep.
And I've actually never listened to this song.
Have you not?
No. I'm not really a Bowie fan, truth be told. Like, I know his music's good, but I don't turn him off, but it's not something I go out my way to look at. Or listen to, I should say.
I probably heard this song about 5 times this year already.
Jesus Christ, did you see that MP3 player?
Yeah, the good old iPod. Like, pre-color iPod. Oh, there we go.
Like, I ain't being funny, right? That was a perfectly straight road. He weren't stopped on a bend. How the fuck did he not see him?
Well, that's an old car by then, so probably someone who didn't give a fuck and was, like, trying to kill someone.
But he stopped. Like, usually if you're trying to run someone over, you don't stop after you hit them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Either that or it's only stopped for the shot.
It's possible, I guess, but...
So he's gone back to when Life on Mars was, like, first released, has he, or something?
Well, I believe he gets sent back to 1973.
Sure.
I don't know if that's when the song came out, but...
1971 is when it came out.
Ah.
So yeah, it was already a couple of years old by then.
Well, again, 70s, you would classify the 70s as the 70s back in early 2000s, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, in the past.
I guess they just need to make sure that it was set in a period where it was out so it could still be in the car. I like how his car changed as well.
Yeah. To even older than the one that hit him.
But no, it's his car. His car wasn't the 1999 one.
Yeah.
At least I assume a 99 plate was 1999.
Yeah, back when Bobbies had helmets.
Specifically so pregnant women could piss in them.
Oh yeah, Jeeps have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeeps have now started showing adverts. Every time the car stops in America now on the new Jeeps, it overrides the entertainment center with unskippable ads.
Yeah, I saw that. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, the motorway weren't even there.
Yeah.
Man, it's so weird to think how new certain motorways were.
Just motorways in general, yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be... Is the explosions going to be from the Troubles?
What explosions?
Well, I meant the rubble. Like having been blown up by the Irish.
Okay, but bear in mind they just showed you that a motorway was coming there. So what do you think now,
true.
putting one and one together?
That it could have been demolished properly. Yeah, the one constant for anything in Britain is that Lizzie 2 is still on the chair.
Well, yeah, if we'd have... it would have been relevant if we did this, 2 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking... The dinge of fucking cigarette smoke, as any good police officer would have you know.
Yep.
Fucking no sort of words, that was a sentence, I know what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Man, I remember working in an office in the early 2000s, and there were already... There was still smoke-stained computers from when smoking was still allowed.
Man, I still remember when every pub you used to go into had those big, giant fuck-off ashtrays that you couldn't possibly lift.
Oh yeah, because if they could, then people would nick them.
Yeah.
Or use them as weapons in a brawl.
That's fucking typical of a fucking 70s police station. Just don't worry, you've had some pints.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be so weird for a relatively straight-laced cop from modern day, innit?
Yeah, to come into a sleazy precinct.
Look at this crazy man.
Of course it is.
Yeah. That's a great joke.
PC. The actual boss is coming in.
It's Bernard Manning. No, not quite. You just beat up your subordinates.
Yeah, he's going to take that to HR that doesn't exist yet. Tart's Furry Cup.
Jesus Christ.
Spaghetti Oops.
Fuck me.
Yeah, like old infomercials from the time back then. Watch out, there's a thief about.
Is he going to try and phone someone he knows?
Southwood Farers.
Jeez, would they not be fucking direct numbers back then?
No.
Are they going to think he's a pervert?
Yeah. Don't you start that sexy business.
Yes, this is the first hint that he's not actually time travelled.
Sure, so he can hear himself in the ER.
It's so weird that this got a sequel, because you wouldn't think you'd be able to go, it's this again, you know?
He got hit again.
Well, obviously it was a different person, but yeah.
But like, it also depends on like how real this part of the timeline is. Like, if you need to send another person back for a sequel to do some other things that were left unresolved in the past.
It's not really what it's about, though, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm having Misogyny. Police work must have been fucking miserable before computers, though.
Yeah. Just proper, like, feet on the pavement, pounding the streets, gumshoe work.
Dickhead! I know forensics isn't a thing in the 70s, but that's still fucked, right?
Yeah.
Also, did you notice it's the same MO as the modern day killer? Which is weird when this is meant to be the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a thing in the 70s. Goddamn, police work was slow, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, back when 27p actually got you something.
So all you got to do is know a copper and you're good.
Even if you're slightly dodgy, it means you can't be that dodgy. Just wanted to do a murder.
It's a good question in the 70s, because bear in mind, serial killers weren't widely known in the 70s. That was an odd thing, you know?
Yeah.
I might be an idiot, but I don't really know what you're gonna learn from that, really. I suppose where she ate last, potentially. Oh, there you go. Same fucking MO to the letter.
Yeah, so he's running through this in his mind, essentially.
Mm-hmm. But he's clocked it as well.
Yeah, he's trying to frame himself.
What? What do you mean he's framed himself?
He's trying to ground himself and wake up from what he assumes is a lucid dream.
Just bear in mind, you said framed himself, and we've also got a crime, so I was very confused by what you meant.
Oh yeah, it's a Yorkshire term. It's come on, frame yourself. It's like pull yourself together kind of thing.
Well, I might even say get a grip.
Yeah. In brackets, on reality.
Oh, he's going to find fucking synthetic fibres, isn't he? Yep. Although he can't analyse that back in the past, can he?
No.
Does plonk just mean doctor, then?
Apparently.
So obviously, down here, plonk means a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, plonk is like low quality wine.
Fair enough.
You get a bottle of plonk.
That's inappropriate, sir.
I
believe our main character has the horn. Nah, not really.
Annie Cartwright.
Didn't she just crack your neck and that hurt, right?
Yeah.
Hit me with your rhythm stick.
Proper slap. Blunt force trauma to
right in the liver. You gotta feel a bit bad for this other copper, right?
Yeah, because he's having to listen to this drivel.
that's fucking... That was seamless.
Man, yeah, it was, yeah.
That was really well done. Dude, I'd fucking kill for a place like that now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, the bed's a bit shit, but that could be fixed. Dude, it's not a million miles away from what the room was like in when we went up north.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Enoch fucking Powell! For those of you who don't know, super fucking racist.
Yes.
It was BMP, wasn't he? Or was he the other one?
Let's find out. He was the Secretary of Health and Social Care, so that must mean he was a Tory.
Yeah, but I swear he split off and made the BMP. Oh, they were actively boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. That wasn't clear. I thought they were shagging, but not still shag. Oh, I know what I mean.
Yeah. He was an Ulster Unionist as well, after the Conservatives.
Yeah, he was a Tory when he was in Parliament, basically.
Yeah.
They've still got a seat in the House of Commons.
Yeah.
So I got really fucking distracted by fucking Ulster. Who the fuck talks about Ulster in 2025? Fucking Fate fans who really like Cucullin. Just let me squeeze your
he
tit,
died
love.
in 1998, so...
He wasn't a nice man, because every time his name comes up, it's always like fucking spitting afterwards, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like a modern-day Oliver Cromwell. Oh, look cute.
I'm just my mind's blown by the yellow on that wall. Like, why? 70s, I know, but fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things were beige in the 70s.
Back when telly wasn't really entertainment so much as, we must use this to educate and nothing more.
I mean, if only.
What do you mean, if only?
If only that stayed. If only that stayed true.
Oh, what are you, the fucking Unabomber now?
Oh.
Again, fucking seamless. God damn, I'm really loving all of these little slips they're doing.
So is that the same actor as the one that was in the background that was talking before,
No, I don't think so.
but with a beard on now.
Again, I don't think so.
Yeah, fair enough.
God, imagine fucking tuning into this when it first came out, thinking it was just like a fucking murder mystery. What does Booper actually stand for? I know it's effectively our private healthcare ring, but...
Yeah.
No, you'd no idea?
Top of my head, I don't think so.
This is literally distressing to watch.
It is, yeah.
I assume the B stands for British, and P probably stands for patient.
Yes, British United Provident Association.
So no for patient, then.
Not for patient.
I'm sure if you zoomed in on those 4 men on that wanted poster, you'd recognise them as real people.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Of course, our main character here having only one set of clothes.
Yeah. That's all you need to know.
Good old fucking British police work.
She's a pain in the arse. She's a mouthy bird.
Looks a bit like Susie Dent.
Little bit.
Jeez, I'm just realising there's no fucking cassettes in this time, so you got the guy in the background just writing everything down on a notepad.
Yeah. So it's down to like his accuracy.
Don't know who Britt Eklund is, but I assume she was a good looker back in the day. I don't know.
Let's find out.
Rick is very trigger happy on the Googling today.
I am.
Almost as if he's bored with the program.
Yeah, she's an actress, model, and singer. She's currently 82.
Prime age.
Yeah.
Oh, what a breakthrough. Not very many tall blokes and fucking long hair in Manchester, is there?
Mm-hmm. Kind of telling, ain't it?
Yep. It's a weird thing to fucking say, bruh.
It's probably not too far out of left field for someone in the 70s, though.
True. What the fuck's a Diet Coke?
Well, they don't sell Coke.
Thick gloves in Manchester. A very cold city.
Yeah, yeah.
He just fucking told you, you dickhead.
Yeah. You know, that's actually like actually decent of the guy that he's willing to give him a bit of a chance.
On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, that bar is incredibly low.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, back in the day, you could just go...
Gut.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, gut. That's exactly the word. Well done. You brought it back.
Yep. Yep.
Everyone else is like, a woman? Being a copper?
You have a woman's eyes.
You know, I think some people should probably watch things set in the 70s and 80s and just realise how fucked up women used to get treated.
Yeah, like in living memory for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. It weren't much better in the 90s, truth be told, but...
No. Like, we didn't have Sunday trading until 1994.
Sunday trading is both dumb, but also fuck it, at least the store's shut at 4.
Yeah.
Charming.
Get the hose. Drugs.
Dogs?
Drugs.
Oh, drugs. God, even the fucking captain just calling women skirts is gross.
Yeah. Like, it's on brand, but like, ooh.
His accent is all over the place. Have you noticed?
It is, yeah.
My theory is if this is all meant to be his subconscious brain doing this, he's only ever met like 2 black people and he's tried to combine them in his mental image. Either that or the actor can't put the accent on while whispering.
Maybe. Oh. Yeah, okay. So he's essentially got 2 personas. Even as this Nelson.
I mean, we've seen that.
Yeah. Well, like, that's why he can't keep his accent straight.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he's got his 2 personas that have got different accents.
Could have worded that a bit less shittily. Like, let's literally just in between us of, oh, special friend.
Friend, fucking football friend.
I've never watched the In-Betweeners, but that's the only joke that's like bled out of that show into like the zeitgeist of my being.
Yeah, and Bus Wanker is the other one.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this song.
Yeah.
It's fucking Bubba O'Reilly by The Who.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking!
Yeah.
I got it 2 seconds before the caption. I feel proud.
And my dad still doesn't believe me that it's not Barbara.
It's written down.
Yeah, I know.
What a weird thing not to believe.
Yeah. Barbara O'Reilly, apparently.
The intro takes for fucking ever, though.
It does. Which is why they started it about 20 seconds in.
The amount of times it comes up on my MP3 player while I'm just... my MP3 app, I guess, while listening to music, and I just skip the song because I can't be arsed with the 20-minute long intro. Now, I need you to say this word. It's apple, right? Say apple. Right, okay, what you did there was jumping.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Portal 2 was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah. Space, say apple.
Do you remember that fucking movie that came out and it was just an isekai where a dude was teleported back in time to a world... Not even back in time, into modern day, but the Beatles never existed. So he just wrote all the Beatles songs.
Was that, Yeah, fair enough. Wasn't that... That sounds like a Ricky Gervais kind of thing.
It wasn't Ricky... It was a legitimate film. I believe it was like an Asian actor was the lead. And I remember the advert for it, because I didn't actually see this film. I wanted to see it, but none of my mates wanted to, so I just didn't. The advert for it was him in the recording studio with Ed Sheeran, and Ed Sheeran just going, whoa, what if you changed it to Hey Dude? And the main character just goes, because it's called Hey Jude.
Yeah. Yeah, because Hey Dude would just work as a generic song.
Yeah, but not when the next lyrics are, don't let me down. Fuck me, someone respecting a police badge.
Yeah.
He plays loud music. Or is it just a soundproof room? Ah, he's clocked it, isn't he? So he drags the girls to a soundproof room to try and kiss them, but never kisses them, he just kills them.
Yep.
Would there be records in the 70s of people who had soundproof rooms?
Publicly available ones, yes, but like ones that you've made yourself, probably not.
What a prick! Could at least give him a quid. Well, I guess 20p back in the day.
Yeah, a quid would have been like a week and a half's wage.
Smells like almonds. Oh, he did give him some money.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Give him
fucking
two,
motor,
Bob.
though, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, and that's the modern day geezer.
It is.
Well, obviously, this won't be the modern day guy. It'll be like his dad or his uncle or some shit.
Hmm.
Is she drinking tea off her
Plate of
saucer?
Ovaltine. Well, I mean, that's what you did when your tea spilt.
Oh, I suppose. What's your opinion on Garibaldi's, Rick?
They're all right, but I wouldn't choose them.
I'd choose them because they're only like 20 calories a pop, and it's one of the few instances where raisins are actually delicious.
Yeah, because it makes the whole thing, gives it character.
Oh, it's so good. Problem is it's so easy to go from eating one bar to just eating the whole strip of 5.
Yeah.
Pink wafers are so weird. I used to love those as a kid, but as an adult, I'm thinking back to the flavour and it tasted so fake. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Pink Panther ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right though. Like the ones that I like recently are you can get a strawberry one, you can get a chocolate one, or you can get a vanilla one. I think the vanilla one's the nicest.
What's this? Pink wafers?
Yeah, and the equivalent of pink wafers, but like white.
Gotcha. Dun dun dun. There was no need for that. I love shit like that. just jump over this table, no reason.
Yep, I was half expecting it to freeze frame in the middle of the jump and that'd be the end of the episode.
So we've seen that both these policemen are quote unquote good policemen, but for very different reasons.
Oh yeah.
Do you see our lead then just give a fucking madman swagger as he walked in?
Mm.
Well, this is not the time to be making jokes.
Nope, nope.
Good old school police work. Just give him a good old kicking.
Yeah.
Mind you, the amount of people who say I wanted to be a policeman and then immediately were like, I can't be a policeman because I would not be able to not kick someone.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we know who that is. But they never caught this guy, so there's a good possibility the reason why the modern day guy wrote down in his diary, I killed her, is because he vaguely knew what was going on but didn't do anything to stop it.
Maybe?
Well, because we know he wasn't there on the day that the lady in question got kidnapped.
Hmm.
There you go, he's clocked it as well. Man, mysteries are really easy when you fucking get told the answer, aren't they? 1973, it might have still been hanging times then.
I mean, hopefully.
That's fine, he's still off the streets.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, there we go.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. This is one of those where the to be lawful or good comes in.
It's one of those where if you're in law enforcement, you have certain limitations and you have to work within those. That's part of being a quote-unquote good guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That being said, though, if you've killed someone before and you get sent down for mental illnesses, you don't tend to get out of the mental hospital.
Yeah.
Like, that tends to be a full life thing. It's like you can't be trusted to look after yourself and you're a danger to people. So you're being put in a facility where you're not treated like a criminal, but you're not allowed near the general populace. You might kill again. That's not okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's very different to prisons, where the idea behind prisons, even though it's not necessarily the case in practice, is rehabilitation, because in theory you can rehabilitate someone. Usually prisons aren't worked that way, but that's meant to be the goal.
Yeah. Prisons are there's like a two-factor thing. Like the altruistic role of a prison is rehabilitation. The cynical role is punitive. The middle ground is the safety of people outside the prisons.
Yeah, there really should be two prisons. Like one for rehabilitation, one for that you're not going to get rehabilitated, so you need to be kept away from society. You know? I think you were right, Rick, by the way. I think this was the guy on the telly. You're right.
Yeah, this one looks like the one on the telly, but without the beard, yeah. I think a lot of the time, I think America does have 2 prisons, but they're used for different things.
No, America's got jail and America's got prison, which are 2 different things, whereas those 2 words are more or less interchangeable in British English.
Yeah. Like, jail is the short-term one, prison is the long-term one.
Well, jail tends to be what you go into while you're awaiting trial, or if you're like in the drunk tank or something, or if you're in for a very limited amount of time. Whereas prison or state penitentiary is a very dangerous and scary place to be in.
Yeah, that's what you get sentenced to.
Now, he's saying that, whether or not that's true or not.
Yeah, probably bullshit.
I will say, this is... I've never watched a whole episode of Life on Mars. It was always like bits and pieces that my dad happened to be watching, you know? These cuts...
Yeah, it makes more sense when it's like all in one go, you know?
Yeah, funny that. The cut-ins from the modern day are remarkably well done every single time.
Yeah.
It's an interesting justification for in memory, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do like the justification of why why in universe he might have gotten that one-to-one faced chat, but like it doesn't explain the other 2 times away. Obviously, we as viewers know that, but the characters in question might not.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, not even fire extinguishers back then.
They still have fire buckets. Yeah, they still got fire, but like I can tell, like at the train station, they still have fire buckets.
Fair enough. But it's not the norm, is my point nowadays.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think fire buckets are actually possibly safer, just because it's really simple. You take bucket, you chuck sand on fire. Whereas fire extinguishers, when you're rushing and in a panic, if you've never used one of those before, it can be quite tricky.
And also, you need to know which one it is and what you're using it on.
Usually, there's only one fire extinguisher, so it's not a problem, because it's designed for a situation that will occur near that fire extinguisher, but I get your point.
Yeah, like, don't use the wet one on electric stuff.
Yeah, it's a very niche scenario where you'd have both an option between fire extinguishers, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, the CO2 one works on damn near everything.
Which is why most places just have that one.
Yeah, but by the same token, it's also the one that's most dangerous to humans, because they notice, oh, there's a lot of carbon dioxide here. Oh, that means I can't get carbon dioxide out of my lungs if there's too much of it.
Well, I get what you're saying, but again, it's not a realistic possibility that that's going to be what kills you.
Yeah, totally.
But anyway, that was the very first episode of Life on Mars. What do you think?
I think it was a rather gripping show. Unfortunately, I didn't have much to say during the episode itself because, like, a lot of it was like shots that you kind of had to like pay some amount of attention to and like absorb. And yeah, as you saw in real time, we were just seeing things unfold and seeing the one cog turn in our minds. So generally, I liked it. How about you?
Yeah, it's very good as a mystery show, at least this very first episode, because much like with Sherlock that we did last week, it was giving you evidence, and as every good mystery/detective show should have, you should be able to clock on what's happening like a couple of seconds before the characters do. That in my book is a good indication of a well-written mystery.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like there was a few times when I was a bit slow. It's gonna happen. And already in this first episode, throwing so much doubt as to what state our main character's actually in.
Yeah, like, is he actually in the past? Is he in the coma? He probably is in the coma because we've seen things like that happening. Things that like hint to being tried to be revived, as it were. But the query is it going to get to a point where he's going to want to stay in the past to uncover some crucial piece of evidence?
That piece of evidence wouldn't be admissible in court, Rick.
Yeah, true.
Also, they solved the modern day crime, technically.
Yeah.
Like, it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rick, I know how the series ends, so I wanna ask you, how do you think it resolves? What do you think actually happened to the detective?
In terms of why he's in the past, I think it is all a coma hallucination. I think he's giving himself not enough credit because I think his brain is actually putting things together a lot better than he otherwise is expecting himself to. And the fact that it's his full brain power working while he's essentially in the coma / not conscious, not responsive, that's what's like allowing him to perform like a full-on simulation, as it were. And I think the ending is that he is able to come round and he's able to convict both the guy who got out and the kid who grows up into the person who got let out.
Okay. Well, I can confirm that this entire series is set within a coma.
Sure. Okay.
However, I believe the ending is vague, if my memory serves. So it's one of those where. But let's get to our usual wind down, shall we? Rick, do you have a standout favourite moment?
Oh, it was PC Terminal.
That's a pretty good joke.
It was. Who?
For those of you who don't know, I believe PC stands for Police Constable.
Yes.
I don't know what PC stands for in terms of computers. Personal computer?
Well, it's personal computer. Yes, personal computer, yeah. Where's my PC terminal? Yeah, so it's a great little gag there. It tickled me. How about you? Do you have a favourite moment?
Yeah, the very first incident of that chap just looking directly at the main character and being like, Sam, can you hear me? Sam. And that was undeniably something happening in the real world because that's before his notes got handed over or anything. So
yeah, wake up. Yeah,
it was very very good. And she was there, the main lady. So like she didn't turn around and say, shut up, stop being a dick, blah blah blah. So it undeniably had to have happened.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, very good. And honestly, I've said it before and I'll say it again, fucking seamless every time it cuts to those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, doesn't so much cut to it as just fluidly, it could be a natural part of the dialogue if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, like you need to. It always needs the second statement to clock that it's an incursion from the real world into the coma world. Absolutely.
The second one in particular was very weird because they were already talking about science and then they changed the scientific topic ever so slightly, and it was a real blink and you miss it kind of detail. Obviously, until our main character in question leaned into the camera, it leaned into the TV screen and was like, "I'm here, talk to me." Blah.
Yeah.
But yes, we can't only talk about the good, we also have to talk about the bad. So let's get to it. Rick, do you have a weakest link?
It's part of the show. But it's just like the treatment of women in particular, but also, you know, the good old chauvinistic way that men in the 70s behaved, but with a focus on how they were treating women in particular.
Yeah, it's not good. Like in this particular episode, women were the murder victims as well, so it made it a bit grosser. But I think even if they were men who were dead, it was just like, oh, they're on the slab. They're dead. They were talking very casually about just someone who had just been murdered. You know, I don't think that particularly had anything to do with gender. I think that would have been the case even if it was men that were getting murdered. But yeah, very
sure
callous disregard for certain things.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about you? Do you have a weakest link this time?
Yeah, my weakest link is it's set in the 70s in Manchester, and 70s Manchester was shit.
yeah.
Like 70s Britain in general is not a good thing to look back at. Like the decor is terrible, the way women are treated is awful. There is a single black person in the entirety of Manchester.
Yeah.
Just saying. I get it. It's the setting, and it's realistic. I don't think having only one black person in Manchester is realistic, even in the 70s. But you know, apart from that, totally. It's all real, and it's an uncomfortable thing to look back on, especially with a modern day lens. Like even in 2006, it must have been a little bit fucking you know. And
also, like it's both weird and like we've got the one cop that's his kind of, I'm saying partner, but it's his boss, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
That he's the only one that seems to have any kind of integrity, even if it's tainted by the culture, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all well and good saying he's got integrity, but he still calls the victims, the women victims of this murder spree, oh, it's another skirt's been kidnapped. That's not okay, is it?
It's not okay, no.
Like, just it's very callous.
It is, absolutely.
But yeah, as you say, it's part of the culture of the time, but it's still incredibly uncomfortable to witness.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, let's get... Oh, go on.
No. It's time for the MVP, yeah.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, just give your MVP, Rick. You've ruined it.
John Sim. I think he was great. It wasn't just the character, it was his portrayal. So I'm giving it to John Sim rather than to Sam. In that, yeah, you could just see his facial expressions, like the little bits of body language, just ways that he, as an actor, was able to have the character respond to things that were it was just so believable that he was that person.
To a certain degree, I think that he's very limited in this, especially this first episode, because the bulk of his acting is just, I'm a miserable bastard, and he does it. I wouldn't say it's a stellar performance, if you get my meaning, but that's more to do with the intended portrayal of the character and the writing more than his acting skills.
Yeah, fair enough. I appreciate that, and a lot of the time it's just, I'm miserable and stoic, and now I'm going way up, but like it was consistent throughout, so I'm giving it to him as an actor. But yeah, how about you? Do you have an MVP for this time?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but I'm going to give it to set dressing, more or less, because, my God, they did really well with making this feel like a dingy 70s police station.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, combination of set dressing and, like, the continuity gang.
Absolutely. Like, set dressing and even the outfitter, because, yeah, everyone who's Northern wears those fucking jackets, especially in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, very well done on that front. And even going to the fucking... I don't think it's a hotel, but it might as well be. The room that our main character stays in. Like, yeah, that's what 70s fucking Britain looks like. Shitty wallpaper everywhere.
Yeah.
And they picked a pattern that looked good on screen while still looking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, Rick has nothing to contribute to this section, so I guess we'll move on to the outro.
Yeah.
Fuck me, Rick. Every single thing I've said for this wind down has just been, yes.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. Like it was dingy. It looked shit, and they made looking shit look accurate.
Yeah. Doesn't feel good, does it? Alrighty, so that brings us to a close today, guys. This is our third of 4 month of mystery treats, and next week join us for we're effectively going to watch what spawned this month.
It did, yeah. We're going to watch Columbo next time round.
We are indeed, but before that, we do have a few parting messages, mostly to ask, what do you want to see us review in the future? Obviously, our month of mystery is coming to a close, but don't let that stop you from suggesting certain mystery shows. We know there are dozens upon dozens. Also, let us know what you thought about Life on Mars. Does it deserve the amount of acclaim it's received, as well as receiving many different adaptations to match certain cultures? Like, I can understand why this got adaptations as opposed to just subtitled or dubbed, because it's fundamentally set in 70s British culture, and 70s culture in Russia or Spain would be very different.
Yeah, it's going to mean a lot less to you to watch someone else's culture in a show like this. Like, if I was watching 70s America, it would just feel like 80s America or 60s America. Whereas, like, pointing at this in Britain, yes, early 70s, yeah, it feels like a little bit like the late 60s. It feels a little bit like the mid 70s, but it feels like before the 80s.
I totally get you. Also mind-blowing to see a fucking sign early on going like, the motorway is coming, and it's like, fuck me, really?
Yeah. Like, we know the world with motorways. We know the world with the roads that we have now. But our parents, like, they lived the emergence of a lot of these roads.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's to say, let us know your thoughts on that. Give us suggestions. We've got the comment section down below on YouTube and Spotify. But alternatively, you can send us an email directly at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Send us something informative, witty, or just plain fun, and we'll read it out on a future episode. Apart from that, join us again next week where we'll, what's the iconic line, Rick?
Just one more thing. Bye, everybody.